And we're back on NBC 10 at Issue. I'm Steve Highsmith with Pennsylvania 7th District Congressman Pat Meehan. A lot of parents have been concerned about vaccines over the years. Virtually throughout the medical community, there is a unanimous opinion that there isn't a known connection to that. However, there are still, in just some vaccines, some mercury-related products that might be in there. Should we get rid of anything that is mercury-related in any kind of vaccine?
Well, that's a question I'm not prepared to be able to answer, but the experts who are working on this in the healthcare fields, I think, are concerned that it will also have an impact in having people not take vaccines. So the education, I think, is of the right solution, I think, is there. The real question related to vaccines is what role does that play in causation? And that's what we need to understand.
It appears that autism may be one of these things that may not have a one causative factor answer. It may be links. It may be associations that somehow together with genetics and others trigger things. And there are some recent studies that say that the environment may play a role. And they notice that people who live closer to freeways, to highways, people who live closer to where there is high nitrogen dioxide, I believe, one form of pollutant that comes out of automobiles, that there's a higher rate of autism. Are you concerned that some of these kinds of reports are actually affecting Congress potentially in a negative way, where people are going, oh, if I admit to that, then I've got to agree to higher standards for something? I mean, is there politics getting in the way of finding an answer to autism?
Boy, I sure hope not. I think the question is, as you stated, what are the causes? There's genetic things that are being looked right now. I spent time talking with the experts at Penn about the tremendous inroads they're making. And I think when you talk to the experts, they do think that it's a variety of things working simultaneously, including environmental issues. So the question of more accurately diagnosing it is one of the reasons that the research is focused in those areas. And one of the questions we're trying to do is make sure that the research is more deliberate towards those and going towards effective answers, not all over the place.
There are signs of optimism in the sense there's the new Autism Institute at Drexel and others, but one of the concerns that is growing as the numbers grow is that we have more young people who hit age 21 and then they're out of the system. Any thoughts on what could be done about that?
Huge problem, because we were talking on the front end and the back end. Many of these parents are saying, what happens to my child after 21? In addition, what happens to my child after I'm gone? Because in many ways, the child is being taken care of by parents and family. And there's very few who are able to get the kind of waiver into a system for long-term support. So that's one of the three aspects of this. Diagnosis on the front end, teaching and treatment for children while they're in school, and then what do we do with those after age 21? All part of those are the spectrum of remarkably challenging issues.
Is this something that you say you can stay on top of, and that we should broaden our reach into all these effects of the DSM-5 and everything else that we've been talking about? You know,
it's overwhelming in many ways. And what I'm trying to do, and I talk with many of the families, what's the most important thing I can do with this bully pulpit? I spent a lot of time with the National Director of Autism Speaks, and he said, if you can help us create, as we said, a critical path for this, a significant plan that gives an ordered approach to it, because I think many people are frustrated by the scattershot approach to resolving the issue, as well as the lack of some kind of real passion and concern in Washington for a recognition of this problem.
Congressman, thank you very much.
Always great to
appreciate you taking time.
Steve.
See you again. That's it for this edition of NBC 10 at Issue. I'm Steve Highsmith. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.